we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it. I fit the description, I'm the definition. I'm what they prescribe like she seen the physician. She wanna ride cause she seen how we get it. Big old booty, she my passenger princess. She like to argue, she don't like to listen. She bougie and toxic, she fine and she picky. Pretty and sedity, she get recognition. Matching nails and toes, man, she always French tip 'em. Parking lot pimping when we in the city. Don't ask her about twine, she twerk on the engine. She eat the dick in the car cause it's tennis. She pay me attention like she get commission. Pimpin' CEO, so I give her the business. She ride on the dick like she doing some fitness. She make the dick disappear like she magician. She like to swallow, man, she love when I finish. Having motion, man, you know I got plenty. Bitches choosing cause they know that I'm winning. Seen some thousands, now I'm after some millions. So all my houses come with chandelier ceilings. Pillow talking, man, that shit just ain't in me. Keep it pimpin', I can't do no pretending. Jealous hearted, man, you know I ain't with it. Cupping hoes, I can't do no commitment. No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it.
Yeah, man, that's that exclusive leak right there, man. Double tap the screen chat. Come on in here. We're going to give people some time to come on in. What it do, Too Strong? What it do, Tom, man? What we doing, man? We're going to get some people some time to come on in, man, before we get it started over here, man. Give some people a little time to, you know, make the mosey their way on down, chat.
Stall out them pint bottles, I green the crib. I poured so much I ain't want to live. Told money then, shit, we in the wind. I was in the hood when I clipped the bin. Since a young nigga, I been ready. Went glass house on every Chevy. In this game, I tried plenty settings. It's all or nothing. How niggas been. Got sucker niggas, keep suckers with them. One of the reasons I ain't fucking with them. Trish taking some more than her. Guess she couldn't even.
Y'all hit the like button.
I'm open late, don't need a scale, and it's always over. Sneak wishing well, I double down, slick shit to spell. Shawty know I don't kiss and tell. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded.
Yeah, y'all be sure to hit the like button, man. We on intro mode right now. We in intro mode right now, chat. Be sure to hit the like button. We finna get into it, man. Drop a 1 if you in here rocking with me. Drop a 1 if you in here rocking with me, man.
I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. I was moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spends the night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Cover bag, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first. Eat a lance, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures. Temporary circumstances to temporary measures. Temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I love, she loving me again. I let her cry out the Benz and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. I was moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spend some night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean.
Alright, chat. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all locked, man. Y'all locked. What we doing? Daytime stream, chat. Y'all locked, man. Y'all locked.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Y'all locked, chat.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut alive out. What we doing this morning, chat? What we doing this morning, chat? They saying this madness at Mar-A-Lago. Left one dead. Is it domestic or foreign, man? We got the Wild West out here, man. Double tap the screen, shut alive out. We're going to get into Iran. We're going to get into Tucker and Mike Huckabee. We might have to come back later on for the rest of that, but we finna get into it, chat. They're saying that something went on at Mar-A-Lago, so now we got the Secret Service and FBI. They held a meeting, and we're going to get into it, man. It's looking like they're trying to get bulletproof the fuck up out of here once again, man. This shit is crazy.
We're going to give you what we know and what we can. All right? So keep that in mind. So you good to go? All right. My name's Rick Bradshaw. I'm the sheriff of Palm Beach County. I have with me from the FBI, Special Agent in Charge Brent Skiles, Special Agent in Charge Rafael Barrios from the Secret Service. Also, I have Resident Agent in Charge David Clancy. At 1:30 this morning, the security detail detected that a individual had made his way into the inner perimeter of Mar-A-Lago. A deputy and two Secret Service agents on the detail went to that area to investigate. They confronted a white male that was carrying a gas can and a shotgun. He was ordered to drop those two pieces of
a gas can and a shotgun. Man, I'm not gonna lie, the white community, man, when they show up, man, to do some shit, they showing up locked and loaded. What the fuck did he have?
Deputy and two Secret Service agents on the detail went to that area to investigate. They confronted a white male that was carrying a gas can and a shotgun.
A gas can and a
He was
shotgun.
ordered to drop those two.
Now, what the fuck was he finna do with a gas can and a shotgun, Chad? I don't know what the fuck he thought was finna go on with a shotgun and a gas can other than him going to meet the good Lord.
Pieces
At
of
Mar-A-Lago.
equipment that he had with him, at which time he put down the gas can, raised the shotgun to a shooting position. At that point in time, the deputy and the two Secret Service agents fired their weapons and neutralized the threat. He is deceased at the scene. I'll give you a picture of the shotgun and the gas can to have with you. So that's what we know now.
Man, he ran up on Mar-A-Lago 1:30 in the morning with a gas can and a shotgun. They told him to stop. He dropped the damn gas can and pointed the shotgun and got gunned the fuck down. What is going? How old do y'all think this guy was, chat? Put ages in the chat. How old do y'all think this guy was? I'm gonna say he was early 30s.
Investigation continues. The FBI is the lead investigation agency on this case, and we will be assisting them in whatever manner they would like, and they will be responsible for answering any other questions at an appropriate time. Agent Skiles, thank you.
Good morning. Again, my name is Brett Skiles. I'm the Special Agent in Charge for the FBI's Miami Field Office. First of all, I'd like to thank the Secret Service and Palm Beach Sheriff's Office for their quick response in this matter and close collaboration. Since this area of the shooting was under Secret Service protection at the time, the FBI is assisting the investigation. Currently, our evidence response team is processing the scene, collecting evidence, and we'll continue to work the scene for as long as it takes. One thing I would ask the public is if you live in the area of the shooting, please check your exterior cameras for last night, early this morning. If you see anything that looks suspicious or out of place, please contact us at 1-800-CALL-FBI or contact the West Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Rafael Barros. I'm the special agent in charge of Secret Service Miami Field Office. Earlier today, 2 special agents from the Secret Service and a deputy from the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office were involved in an officer-involved shooting while responding to an armed individual at one of the gates at Mar-A-Lago. Preliminary information indicates that the individual was armed with a shotgun and a possession of a gasoline canister. Agents and the deputy discharged their firearms to stop the threat. At this time, no law enforcement personnel were injured during the incident. We want to be clear, the President of the United States was not in the state of Florida. And this remains an active investigation by the FBI. Thank you.
Okay, this is the picture that I'm going to give you of the shotgun and the gas.
I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy that this happened right after Trump raised the global tariffs to what, 15%? Trump put the global tariffs from 10% to 15% because, you know, the Supreme Court ruled against him on the 100%, 200% tariff. So he just put a global 10% tariff, and now he raised it to 15%, and now we got a crazy motherfucker running up on Mar-A-Lago while he's not even there.
And so you got it with us, all right? So you'll have that. Like I said, there's a lot more investigation to be done.
Timmy Turner, you said it's boring. Swipe up on the live. Hold my nuts. Keep pushing.
As the lead agency, we'll be assisting them, and fortunately, nobody was in jeopardy inside because of the quick action that was taken by the deputies and the Secret Service. All right, do we have any relative questions? All right. Yeah, we're going to give it to you. All right. Okay, that's it for today. Say that again, ma'am. There's 2 agencies involved. Sheriff's Office, Secret Service. Well, that's under investigation right now. Okay?
Was this person known to law enforcement prior to the incident?
Not right now.
Can you clarify where on the perimeter it happened? You mentioned by the gate.
Yeah.
At the front gate over there?
Chad, they're also saying that JD Vance and Kristi Noem are the only people that are opposing these limited and maybe these strikes on the run. They're saying Kristi Noem and JD Vance are the only ones opposing it. Man, we heard what Mike Huckabee said. They say Mike Huckabee ready to go in.
Yep. They're the north side. He was just inside the inner perimeter, yes. All right?
Was anyone involved wearing body cameras?
Pardon me?
Was anyone wearing body cameras?
Yes, we always do.
Or any
Only words that we said to him was drop the items, which means the gas can and the shotgun. He put the gas can down and pointed the shotgun at the officers. I don't know.
How many shots were fired?
Don't know that either yet. It's part of the investigation. Okay, folks. Thanks for being here. That's it.
How? If this happened at 1:30 in the morning Eastern time, how the fuck do they not know?
All right, so a fairly brief news conference saying that they're not going to answer questions where they speculate about what happened. I'm watching to see if we're getting another feed. It looks like they are actually refeeding it in here for folks who may have missed it, but they did provide.
Oh yeah, we not finna watch this shit again. All right, Chad, we finna see what's going on. We finna go to another clip, man. I gotta see what's going on with this shooter. I wanna know how old he is. Here go Bungino. Let's see what the hell Bungino talking about. I wanna know how old this guy is, Chad. If somebody, cause I would do a damn challenge, but somebody gonna go look it up.
Now have Dan Bongino, former FBI director. Thank you for joining us on such short notice, Dan. So can you tell us what you know at this hour?
Well, obviously that's a secure, extremely secure area. I've been to the property, as many of you have, many times. Reaching the property, if what we have from the early reports is accurate, we have no reason to believe otherwise. With a gas can and a shotgun, it appears the intent seems built in. That side of the property, the north side of the property over there, they've made a number of significant security enhancements. I know the director now who had been the SAC special agent in charge, Director Curran now was a special agent in charge of former President Trump's detail between 45 and 47, obviously, is very familiar with the property. They made, again, a number of very significant technology enhancements that put a lot of money into securing the location. But ultimately, in the end, there was an interdiction here by a human being, and they're going to be the ones who are obviously the decision makers. And it appears from the early reporting, and we'll see what comes out, that they, in order to enact any kind of deadly force, which happened in this case, you have to have a fear of serious physical injury or death. It appears the agent or officer who was involved thought that to be the case. The early reporting of a weapon seems to indicate the obvious reason why. From this point on, the FBI and the Secret Service, me having been on both sides of the fence, FBI has an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding with the Secret Service, where the FBI will take over the crime scene in a scenario like this for obvious reasons. If there were, and I'm not suggesting at all this is the case, but if there was some kind of security lapse that required an investigation, you wouldn't want the Secret Service investigating themselves, and vice versa. If it happened with the FBI, you wouldn't want them.
All right, they say it was 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin. He's in his early 20s from Cameron, North Carolina. What the fuck was he doing? Had a gas can and a shotgun, early 20s from North Carolina.
Investigating themselves either. So we'll generally take over the crime scene. There's usually a smooth transition. The Secret Service will designate some crime scene
So young.
agents in advance at every
Threw his
site.
fucking life
They have a little,
away.
asterisk next to their name. They know what to do. They'll hold that, and then there'll be an investigation. And from this point, we'll all be sitting and watching as all the facts emerge.
Yeah. So Secret Service issuing a statement saying on
You
February
was close.
2nd around 1:30 a.m., male in his 20s shot by U.S. Secret Service agents at a deputy from Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office following an unauthorized entry into the security.
Yeah, he didn't think that shit through at all. Running up on Mar-A-Lago with a gas can and a shotgun, man. What the fuck did you think you were about to accomplish, brother? I'm genuinely confused. Like, what was the goal? Trump wasn't there. Like, what was the point of showing up at Mar-a-Lago with the fucking gas can and a shotgun, dude? You're 21, man. You just... Your life hasn't even started.
The individual whose identity is being withheld pending a notification was pronounced deceased. The individual was observed by the north gate of the Mar-a-Lago property carrying what appeared to be shotgun and fuel can. U.S. Secret Service agents and Palm Beach police deputy confronted the individual, and shots were fired by law enforcement during the encounter. No Secret Service agent or local sheriff deputy personnel were injured. There was no Secret Service protectees present at the location at the time of the incident. The incident, including the individual's background, actions, potential motive, and the use of force, is under investigation by the FBI, the Secret Service, and Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. In accordance with the agency policy, the involved Secret Service agents will be placed on routine administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation, as you just noted.
Dan, you are former Secret Service. What's your gut instinct about where this person decided to enter from? What, based on what you just read, how it was handled, just your gut instinct. I mean, we couldn't have a better expert on this morning than you.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, Scott, this had to be like suicide by cop, man. This had to be, he had to want to take his own life by the hands of the Secret Service and police. There's no other explanation for this type of shit, bro. Like, you had a shotgun, bro, and a gas can, bro.
And you and I have been to many times.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of area where you could just roam around in certain locations. When you're looking at, say, the east side of it, you would stick out like the, proverbial sore thumb. You just can't do. So the north side of it, that also, you have, residents and folks that live over there. It's not that easy to do that and to get in there. That's why I'm kind of curious as to, what was there a backpack involved? Was there some security footage, some security cameras that may have been following this guy sooner? That's the kind of stuff we're going to find out as the fact pattern starts to emerge. One thing I just want to indicate, sorry, with Charlie, because I'm on the phone, so I'm not watching it. But the security perimeter around there is, and that's why I said before, we're not really sure if it was an agent or it's not just Secret Service agents. You see that in these, movies. It's always the Secret Service agents with the earpiece, but we rely heavily on the fantastic work of the Palm Beach County.
What's up, Big Niche?
So it appears in this case that was the use of force incident was with them, but it's not all agents. And we rely heavily on local law enforcement for one very simple reason. Obviously manpower. But the second reason is they know the terrain better than anyone. That's their county. They're down there all the time. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
So real quickly, can you confirm that the North Gate is the gate that we normally go in and out of if you're visiting Mar-A-Lago?
So the North Gate, I wonder what, like, if we lay out the property, how it looks, man. Chat, be sure to subscribe to the channel, man. We're 15 subscribers away from the next sub goal. Be sure to subscribe to the channel.
Or is there also a gate on the actual north side, as you just mentioned right there, where it butts up against that neighborhood where there are actual residents?
Hang around, Jack. I'll tell you what Pluxation means. I'm Pluxation. This is the Plug Nation community. The clothing brand is Plug Sack. So Plug Sack is a clothing brand. Pluxation is me. Plug Nation is the community. You know what I'm saying? It's called branding, my boy. Thank you, Big Niche.
Is there a gate up there that is called the North Gate, or is the one that goes out into US 1?
I'm just operating off preliminary reporting, and I don't want to get ahead of the story for the guys. I want to be very clear on that. It's very important for them to, during the press conference, I think we're going to get a good amount of information, but, folks can see who've been there, how the terrain is different on each side. Each presents a different variable security-wise for the Secret Service, so depending on where the entrance was is going to dictate a lot of what went into the decision to use deadly force in that case.
Yeah, and so Dan, we want to lean into your experience as a Secret Service agent and understanding these sorts of things. And from the Secret Service spokesman, Anthony Guglielmi's statement that Charlie just read, we learned that there were no protectees present. And this, of course, if it happens at 1:30 a.m., it's one thing I can imagine perhaps when you are with your protectee, particularly when it is the President of the United States, the entering of a threat matrix, but it appears this sort of came perhaps out of nowhere and really took the agents and the sheriff deputies by surprise.
So this is what I wonder too. They're saying this guy, Austin Tucker Martin, is from North Carolina. What city in North Carolina? Cameron, North Carolina. How far is Cameron, NC from Mar-A-Lago? Let's see. 550 to 600 miles. So the drive typically takes around 9 to 10 hours depending on traffic and route taken. The nearest major airport to Mar-A-Lago is Palm Beach International, 5 miles west of the state. So I want to know, did this guy just get in his fucking car? We need to see the flock cameras, chat. We need to see the flock cameras. Did this guy just get in? Well, not see him, but we need the data from those flock cameras. Like, did this guy just get in his car, drive fucking 9 hours, showed up at Mar-A-Lago at 1:30 in the morning and breached the damn security and lost his life? Or was he already down there? Was he around some people, like at an Airbnb or a friend's house, or had he moved there? You know, that's what I want to know. I don't know. Driving 550 to 600 miles to Mar-A-Lago on some bullshit sounds crazy.
Of course, President Trump wasn't on the premise at the time. Walk us through what it's like when you are having to guard the gate, as you will, in the dead of night, when you least perhaps expect an attack like this.
Yeah, having stood post in a lot of midnights, that is just kind of like hurry up and wait. You know, you hurry up and then you wait for hours, and then something else happens, and then you hurry up and wait, and you have to overcome that cerebral inertia, staring out at the water for hours, and then these things happen, and you have to make at night. Think about this. Put yourself in the agent, or in this case, it appears to be deputy's shoes.
Where did he get the gas? Where did he get the gas can? Did he lift the gas can out of somebody's yard? I know he didn't drive 550 miles with a fucking filled up gas can. Did he stop, get gas? He probably had to get gas if it's a 550-mile trip, unless he was already in the area with someone or at a hotel, Airbnb. Because we got to understand, he came onto the property with a shotgun and a gas can. I'm assuming the gas can had gas in it. Now, I don't think this guy would drive 550 miles with a fucking gas can full of gas in his car.
You know, you've been at it. It's 1:30 in the morning. It's not a natural time to be up. We're not nocturnal beings. Nothing has happened for the past, say, couple hours. If you came on at 10 o'clock or whatever, thank the Lord. And then in seconds, in microseconds, you have to make a life or death decision as suspect, perpetrator, in this case appears, according to the early reporting, with a weapon, tries to infiltrate the property. It's probably the most difficult job in the world. And then, by the way, your actions are going to be scrutinized,
right?
For years. And fairly enough, we get that's what everybody signs up for. It's not a sob story, and no one's asking.
You said the cartels are fighting?
I'm trying to provide some context to it, because I've been on both sides, having been the guy standing the post, in addition to having been in the FBI,
right,
where, we're doing the after-action analysis. I've seen both sides of it. It's really, it's a really difficult job.
I'm Steve Ducey. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the...
We'll check that out as more comes out, man. As more comes out, we'll check that shit out right here. Now, chat, what am I going to get into? All right, this is a damn joint statement, chat. Listen, this is a joint statement. After Mike Huckabee went and did the damn interview with Tucker Carlson, 15 countries released a joint statement fucking condemning Mike Huckabee, bro. That's crazy. 15 countries released a joint statement condemning Mike Huckabee, bro. It's wild, bro. Look at this shit. Look at this shit, chat. 22 February 2026, the Ministries of Foreign Affairs of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, the Republic of Indonesia, the Republic of Pakistan, the Kingdom of Bahrain, the Republic of Turkey, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Syrian Arab Republic, the Sultanate of Oman, the State of Palestine, the State of Qatar, the State of Kuwait, the Republic of Lebanon, the Arab Republic of Egypt, together with the Organizations of Islamic Cooperation, the League of Arab States, and the Gulf Cooperation Council, expressed their strong condemnation and profound concern regarding the statements made by United States Ambassador to Israel, which is Mike Huckabee, bro. This shit is crazy, bro. Like, Mike Huckabee went on Tucker Carlson and wilded the fuck out, didn't he, Chad? Mike Huckabee went on, man, listen, you saying, look what countries they are, man. This is Mike fucking Huckabee we're talking about, bro. Like, what? Let me see if I can pull up some of that Tucker interview without them fucking flagging me, bro. Let's see if they'll let us watch some of that, bro. Where are the clips at, man? We can't get no damn clips. Tucker finna get us up out of here for this. I already know he is. I'm gonna have to stop it a lot, chat, because Tucker fuck around and get us up out of here real quick. Y'all subscribe to the channel.
We're about to play you an interview we did with U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, 2 days ago.
All right, so this interview is a couple days old. Let's give him
out loud. I have no secret agenda. So to attack me as a Nazi for saying they...
Okay, chat, so Tucker did get arrested, I believe, or detained while he was over there, man.
To their credit, got back to us and said, yes, we will...
We might have to play this bitch a little fast, bro. We might have to play this thing a little fast. Where's the little, damn. They don't got it to where I can speed this bad boy up. Playback speed, there we go. We might have to speed this boy
up. Do that, but I just thought that was completely bizarre and menacing, by the way. Now, at the same time, and I think this is relevant, certainly it goes to motive. I was attempting to set up a meeting, as I have been for the past 3 months, with the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, who I've dealt with a lot in the past, and who denounced me as a Nazi in public, a member of the woke Reich. And why was I trying to do that? Not an interview. I knew he wouldn't sit for an interview, but I wanted just to meet with him in person. One, to show.
So Netanyahu sat with, who are the Netanyahu sit with interviews with? Netanyahu sat with Patrick Bet-David. He sat with Brandon Tatum, and he sat with somebody else. Netanyahu has sat down with a few people for interviews.
Willing to go to Israel.
Hey, is that too fast for y'all, bro? Man, fuck it. I'll slow it down. That shit does sound a little fast, man. Y'all left when I made it real fast. Hold on. This ain't even the fast. This ain't even like, this is like 1.5, 2.5. Let me put that bitch back right.
I don't hate Israel as a country. But two, just to say directly to him, this is bad. This should be de-escalated. This kind of rhetoric doesn't help anybody. Calling me specifically, a Nazi and an anti-Semite when you know that I'm not. By the way, if I was, I would just admit it. Thank you very much for having us, for inviting me.
All right, so you said they spoke about the Rothschilds equals a death warrant threat. So y'all think that Tucker's on his way out of here, man? A lot of people say Tucker's a 3-letter agent, man. Do y'all think Tucker is a 3-letter agent? Yes or no, chat? And do y'all think Tucker's getting paid by Qatar? They say Tucker's getting that Qatari money, allegedly. You know, they said that about Candace too, but Candace was like, if I'm getting Qatari money, they need to hurry up and drop my damn check.
Grateful to be invited.
Well, thank you.
I was grateful because I don't like all the name calling. I've engaged in some of it. I want to apologize for that. In general, I don't think people should be going immediately to motive, calling each other Nazis or anti-Semites. I said I hate the Christian Zionists. I lost control of myself. Of course I don't. I've apologized for that. I have problems with my anger, and so I just want to apologize to you since you are a Christian Zionist.
You and I have known each other for over 30 years.
Over 30 years. That is totally true.
Back when you were in Little Rock. So
yes,
you know,
the newspaper.
That's why I wanted us to have a conversation.
Tucker worked at a newspaper in Little Rock? What the fuck? Tucker worked at a newspaper in Little Rock. Where the fuck he worked for the damn Gazette? Tucker Carlson. Little Rock newspaper. What the fuck was Tucker doing in Little Rock working for a newspaper? He worked as an opinion writer at the fucking Gazette before joining the Weekly Standard News. What? He began his journalism career at the fucking Gazette. Where is he from? Where the fuck is Tucker Carlson from? San Francisco. How the fuck he go from San Francisco to Little Rock?
To each other and not about each other, and I appreciate very much you're coming here to.
Of course, and I'm only staying a couple hours, unfortunately, because I kind of shoehorned this in, but I hope that I will be back soon, and I hope that I can come back soon, because I actually like, despite what you may hear, I actually like the country. I've been here a lot, and there are a lot of things I love about it, and I want to talk to people in it for like a week.
Good.
And get a better sense of it. So I want to ask you, everyone I've talked to in preparation for this has said the same thing. Jonathan Pollard?
Yeah.
I'm just going to show the name to you and have you explain.
No, I'm glad you asked. You know.
So who is Jonathan Pollard, chat? Who is Jonathan Pollard? I have to keep pausing this shit or they're going to get us up out of here. But who is Jonathan Pollard, chat?
Of course.
Interestingly, there's been a lot of things about it. You're the first person who has asked me about it, which I find amazing. So I'm glad you did.
Really?
Yeah, the very first
Good.
person.
Well, it's better to hear it.
Sure. I met Jonathan Pollard 2 times. Once I was making a speech in Jerusalem. This has been a few years ago. His wife was still alive at the time.
Chat, would y'all go to Jerusalem, man? Would y'all go to Jerusalem, man? If you had, time and opportunity, would you want to visit Jerusalem, chat?
And he was there. And someone introduced me to him and his wife. I said hello to them. That was it. Hi.
nice to meet Esther, his wife, and that was it. I went and made my speech and I left. Later, his wife passed away here in Israel, and I sent him a note and just said, I'm sorry to hear about your wife. I remember meeting her at the hotel, and sorry to hear it. He then asked, could he come and see me? He wanted to come and thank me for being kind to him. He came to the embassy. I think we met for maybe 30 minutes. We had a nice, pleasant visit. The funny thing was the New York Times reported that it was a secret meeting. Tucker, if you've ever been to the U.S. Embassy, you would know there's no such thing as a secret meeting at the U.S. Embassy.
Sure.
There are cameras everywhere. You walk through Marines, you walk through security, you walk through the front office, and there's a dozen or more people that are going to check you out when you come. And before you get there, you're going to have to give us your passport information. You're going to have to be vetted and screened and all of this stuff. So the idea that it was secret was ludicrous. The whole idea is, look, Jonathan Pollard did something that was terribly
funny,
wrong. He sold secrets. He shouldn't have done it. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison and spent 30. Actually, was I think he was sentenced to maybe more than 30 years. But he spent 30 years in prison. Most people convicted of something similar, which was one count, I believe, would have spent 2 to 4, but he spent 30. I don't have a problem with him spending 30 because I think what he did was despicable. I'm not defending anything about.
But Mike Huckabee just said, man, fuck him and that 30 years, man. Other folks getting 2 to 4 years for the same shit he did. He got a 30, man. Fuck him.
What
crazy.
But even people like the former director of the CIA, a number of other senators on the Senate Foreign Relations of the Senate Intel Committee, he should be allowed to leave and move to Israel if he wanted to. So it, to me, was not as big a deal that I had this basically courtesy meeting. He wanted to thank me for being nice to him when his wife died. That's pretty much the story.
You advocated for his release when you ran for, I remember it, in 2011.
Advocated for his release, but you just said you didn't give a fuck that he did a 30, Mike.
Long before he had served 30 years. And I agree with you that there are a lot of people languishing in prison, you know, in our country and in this country, many countries, you know, for longer periods than they deserve. And I think it's a Christian impulse to want to see them free. But this was the greatest traitor in modern American history who sold our battle plans against the Soviet Union, our main enemy in the Cold War, to the Israeli government, which according to our Reagan CIA director, Bill Casey, then gave them to the Soviet Union. So this was the most profound betrayal of the United States in my lifetime. Why advocate for that guy's release before he serves his full sentence?
If that were the case in 2011, it would have been because I had a number of friends that suggested that he had more than served time and he didn't want to live.
They tugged on his fucking coattail. Mike Huckabee keeping it fucking real. They said Mike Huckabee was unhinged on this interview, chat. I haven't watched it, bro. Mike Huckabee just told us, man, if I wanted him out early, man, it's because some motherfuckers around me wanted him out early, man. Straight up, man. What kind of mafia mob boss shit is this?
U.S. anymore. He wanted to live in Israel. And but my association with him, again, I had never met him until I met him in Jerusalem at a hotel. That was the first time I had ever encountered him.
I'm friends with 1 million bad people, or I've talked to 1 million bad people.
I'm sitting here with you.
I'm friends with 1 million bad people. I'm sitting here with you. Oh, bro, like, they're saying this shit in a joking manner, chat. They're not fucking joking, bro. Like, I don't know if y'all are reading the room, man. Like, these people are not fucking joking, man. It's some bad people this guy knows, man. It's some bad people they both know, hell.
Come on.
I mean, Jesus ain't with tax collectors, so I trust me. Do not judge people who are friends or know or enjoy the company of immoral people, because it's not an endorsement of their immoral behavior. Pollard is different, I think, once you become U.S.
Well, what the fuck happened to birds of a feather, Tucker? He didn't say, I don't care about if people, you know, they do what they want to. He said if they enjoy the company of, you know, fucking low down, dirty motherfuckers, you know, it is what it is. Like, what happened to birds of a feather? This shit, when did birds of a feather go out of the window, chat? Y'all didn't tell me that shit, man. I've been by myself on isolation because I don't want motherfuckers associating me with any other shit. You know what I'm saying? When did birds of a feather just stop becoming a thing?
The representative of the President of the United States in the United States of America in a foreign country, and then you invite not only the most damaging betrayer in our lifetimes, but also a guy who continues to advocate for betrayal. So he gave an interview, as I know you know, in 2021 to Israeli media, in which he said, I would encourage Jewish Americans with security clearances to spy for Mossad against their own country, the United States, because, and I'm pretty much quoting him, all Jews should have dual loyalty. That's not repentance. That's not someone who feels bad about what he did. That's someone who's encouraging American Jews to betray their country. That's pretty heavy, don't you think?
Oh, I do, and I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think, let's remember, it was President Trump who denying that. Of course he did. And he paid dearly for it, 30 years in prison, and he should have. That's what he should have done. There's no question about that.
Why meet with him in the U.S. Embassy? Your colleagues said they were shocked. They said...
Who were the colleagues that said they were shocked?
Quoted on Background in the New York Times. I think the meeting was in August. This could all be fake. That's why I'm asking you.
Well, the same New York Times said it was a secret meeting. And I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a secret meeting in the U.S. Embassy.
Do you see why the U.S. ambassador hosting a convicted betrayer of his own country who's encouraging Americans to continue to betray their country would seem shocking?
I ain't gonna lie, Chad. When it come to Arkansas politics, man, motherfuckers been putting a look. There's been Bill had what he had going on. Now we got the damn microscope on Huckabee, man. It's crazy, man.
Well, I would say that it wasn't that you make it sound like I'm hosting a meeting. I simply met with him. I meet with people.
Motherfuckers say Arkansas slow in country, though. It's looking like Arkansas politicians got some shit going on, man.
You just walk in without a...
No, they have to have an appointment. Of course they do.
Oh, so it is hosting him then, I think.
Well, I don't know if it was hosting, but it was certainly, he was come to the U.S. Embassy to have a meeting at his request. I did. And frankly, I don't regret it. I met with a lot of people over the course of the time I've been here, and we'll meet with a lot more. That's it.
So if you spend the evening at my
See, this where Tucker
house,
be
you
getting us fucked
where was it
up.
assigning motive?
That's where you be getting us fucked up right there, man. Them damn ass, bro. All right, Chad. So this what we gonna do. You know what I'm saying? What we gonna do is we gonna have a little intermission. Go get you a snack or something because I don't want them to cut us the fuck off this live because a little bit of Tucker commercial just fucking played, man. You know how you get down when them ads get to popping up and running and shit, man. Go and get y'all something to drink and shit. I'm finna pull it back up, man. I'm gonna read some of these chats, man. How do y'all feel about Mike Huckabee being ambassador to Israel? I think they were floating some names like Eric Adams for a position like that as well. I think they were floating some names like Eric Adams could potentially get a position like that.
Questions for the Justice Department, like why are millions of Epstein files still classified? Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. I haven't kept up with that. I've never met the man. I don't know him.
You haven't kept up with the Epstein disclosure?
I mean, only from a distance. I'm 6,000 miles away from D.C. these days.
You attacked me personally for suggesting that Jeffrey Epstein had ties to Mossad. I'm not saying he worked for Mossad. I don't think we know that. But there's no question that he had extensive contact with CIA.
But I think you said it, a turning point event. Everybody knows Jeffrey Epstein.
I said everyone thinks. And it turns out everyone was right, that he did have...
I'm not sure everyone was right or everyone thinks.
Okay, but... You said that I was lying, and I don't want to make this about me.
I don't think I said you were lying, Tucker. I don't recall.
I'm just saying, why don't we release all the files, and then we don't need to guess?
I got no problem with that. Go ahead.
Would you call on it? Well, because you weighed in on it and said that this was not true, when of course...
I said there was no evidence.
Quite a bit of evidence, but you haven't apparently bothered to read any of the files? Is that what you're saying?
I have not read the Epstein files. Apparently you have.
Well, they're on the...
Man, Mike Huckabee be saying, listen, Tucker, this shit ain't my business, man. I'm over here in Israel holding shit down, man. I'm between Blue Rock and Israel right now, man. And I make a few stops in D.C., Tucker. I ain't got time to read that shit about Epstein and them, man. All of that shit's gonna come out or it's not gonna come out. Holla at Pam Bondi, man.
But when you say that that everybody knows that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent,
That everyone believes that.
I don't think everybody does. I don't know.
Well,
Chat, y'all want me to start doing voiceovers like this, man? Y'all want me to start doing voiceovers like I'll take this interview right here and I'll clip it and I'll do the fucking voiceover. Y'all think that'll be funny, man? Press 1 if y'all want me to start doing those.
everyone knows that he had contact with, and by the way, not just Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, which is much more distressing for me.
I make it sound like some hood shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Tucker and Mike Huckabee, you know, get ready for the club. Tucker and Mike Huckabee get ready for the club, and then I'll be doing the voiceover. That shit would be hilarious.
Israeli, I'm American. I don't want my government having any contact with someone like Jeffrey Epstein. So the shame
I wouldn't either.
is on the United States, as far as I'm concerned, just to be totally clear about that. Sensitive about the Israel connection, not at all sensitive about the U.S. connection, which I find very revealing. We should care about what our government does first, I think. But since you weighed in on it and said there's no evidence, I'm surprised that since that evidence has been open to the public for a month, since you've already weighed in publicly on this question, that you've made no effort to evaluate that evidence. Why is that?
I just told you I was certainly not aware that there were some specific allegations. I knew about the former prime minister, but I don't know him. Not sure I ever met him in my many times. You know, I've been to Israel over 100 times since 1973. The first time I came here was 1973, July. And it's almost 53 years of coming and going to this country. So I know the country well. I know a lot of people here. But I don't know everything, and I don't know everybody. But I do know a lot of people.
Of course, no, and I can see your love for it, and I think that's great. But I'm talking about the U.S. government and its responsibility to, you know, there's a lot of complaint about conspiracy theories and everyone, you know, he's a hater. Everyone's assigning motive. But there's a way to end these conversations very quickly with facts, and I'm highly confused.
Have you brought this up to the president?
I mean, no, I don't work for him. I've said this many times.
I know you don't work for him, but you go to the White House and you see people there. You and J.D. Vance are very good friends. So have you brought this up to them? Because
I have brought this up in public many times.
It's not on my portfolio, but apparently it's highly strongly on your mind. And
child molestation is a significant concern for me.
Well, it should be for everybody. But if
there is a charged child molester.
But I'm saying if you are very involved in the details of this,
I'm not.
And you think it's the U.S. government that's hiding and shielding somebody, then bring it up to the people that
I don't personally know.
Hey, Tucker on his ass right now, chat. Press 1 if this your first time watching this interview. Double tap the screen, shut a live out.
I think that I know it because the Justice Department has said we have millions of documents we're not releasing.
Why are they not releasing?
I'm asking you as a U.S. government official.
Well, but
what the answer?
A government official at the embassy in Jerusalem that has not one thing to do with the Justice Department and what they're investigating on any given day.
Again,
unless it involves...
And I don't want to argue or talk in circles, but you were the one who brought it up and said it's absolutely not true.
I was only responding to what I heard you say.
Okay, but now that there's evidence and we can settle this debate, you haven't looked at the evidence and you're not pushing for the release of the total corpus of evidence. And I'm confused because I want to believe that your goal is to get to the truth, and the fastest way to do.
Bro, look at the title to this. Tucker confronts Mike Huckabee on America's toxic relationship with Israel. Man, Tucker is in his fucking bag with these titles, bro. This is Mike Huckabee, bro.
Do that is by releasing the evidence.
Didn't Tucker go interview Putin? That's how he started going crazy, like when he went to interview Putin.
You suggest that I can release the evidence?
I'm suggesting you could call for it right now.
Well, fine, call for it. Let's have it all open. I thought it was being all opened up for everything I.
Once it's open, I hope you'll read it because it's really interesting, and then it puts to rest a lot of the debate, and it ends the name calling because we can say here it is right there, and we don't have to call people names. We can just assess the documents. Let me ask you.
But you bring it up. I hope you will bring it up to people at the White House.
I'm bringing it up right now. I'm bringing it up now, and I'm asking. I just want to say this one last time. As the U.S. ambassador to Israel, I hope that you will make a formal request to the Israeli government to send every accused sex offender in this country back to the United States to face justice. And I don't understand why that hasn't been done. I'm confused.
Well, we'll try to clear up all the confusion that we have.
Well, if someone's been accused of trying to molest a child, I think it's...
Then certainly, and I'll check with the Justice Department because it is a DOJ issue and it would be handled through DOJ, the U.S., to the court systems in Israel. That's how it would be handled.
But the first step is the Israeli government saying, yes, we will allow you to extradite this person back. And the person is being shielded by the government. That's why the person's here. That's why he fled here, so he wouldn't have to stand trial for trying to molest a child. I want to get to as I said at the outset, awful that I regret that my wife barked at me about. I lashed out at Christian Zionists and evangelicals, and I just want to say again that I'm sorry. I've always liked them because they're pro-life and they're also really nice people. So, for the third time, I'm sorry that I said that. I think part of my problem was I don't understand the theology, and you are not a fake Baptist minister. You're an actual minister. You had a church for many years. You're an actual theologian. So, and I mean this with sincerity. I hear people say, those who bless Israel will be blessed. I know it's a reference to Genesis. I don't understand the connection between that concept and modern Israel and the geopolitical world. And so I'm going to stand back and
well, let's first define, because
Tucker.
You know, from my days as a debater in high school and college, one of the things I knew, you didn't start the debate till you defined the terms.
Amen.
Let's define the terms.
Thank you.
What is a Christian Zionist? What does that mean to you? What does it mean?
I don't know. It's the people who call me a Nazi for asking what Israel means. I mean, that's kind of my... I don't even know.
But here's the point. If you say a Christian Zionist is a person who has a brain virus and is guilty of heresy, that's a pretty big charge.
I know. I shouldn't have made it. I made it out of anger and ignorance.
So,
and I'm
Christian, I think we can agree, is somebody who follows Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Has a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, believes in his death, burial, resurrection, repented of one's sins, and have accepted him as one Savior. Would that be fair?
Amen.
Christian. Define that. Zionist. Zionist simply means a person who believes that the Jewish...
Okay. Chad, where do y'all think this is going to go? Because this interview right here led to 15 countries issuing a joint statement condemning Mike Huckabee, man. Let's see what's going on.
Have a right to have a homeland where they have security and safety. Did you believe that a right to live in Israel? Do you believe that Jews have a right to live in Israel? That would be a Zionist. That's all a Zionist is.
I have a million questions about what all of those terms mean.
Yeah.
But conceptually, I wish Israel...
What's up, Spitfire?
I don't want to see them
You want them to have a place where they can live with safety and security?
So I saw this recently in an extremely telling exchange between the lieutenant governor of Texas, who I know and I've always liked, and a woman I don't know, never met.
Who is the lieutenant governor of Texas?
Liberty Commission or something. And she said, I'm a Catholic, but I'm not a Zionist. And they had this ferocious exchange. And he kept saying, and everyone on the panel seemed to keep saying, you have to believe in Israel's right to exist. Which I've never kind of questioned, just for the record, but it did raise two questions I think are really important. And I hope you'll answer them.
What?
One is, where does that right come from?
I would think it comes from, essentially, you could say it comes from the Bible. I would say that it does.
Which Bible?
But it comes also
King James
from a
version.
long iteration of historical precedents going to the Balfour Declaration of 1917. It comes from the League of Nations 1927. It comes from the United Nations 1947.
Right.
The Declaration of Independence of the Israel State in May of 1948. They were immediately attacked. They won the war. They were attacked again in 1956. They won the war. They were attacked again in 1967 by 5 countries. They won the war. They were attacked again in 1973 in the Yom Kippur War. They won the war. The point is, does Israel have a right to exist? They also had wars in 1982 in Lebanon. They've had intifadas, 2 of those. They've had
Lebanon
war
again in 06.
2014.
I was there.
You were
No,
there.
I'm very familiar with the modern history of the state.
Okay.
Pretty familiar, I think.
But a Zionist simply means somebody who believes that Israel has a right to exist. Now, the question is, do you believe Israel has a right to exist?
I guess. I mean, I want.
So, are we going to have a spectrum for the Zionists? Are we going to have an extreme Zionist, like we have extreme Muslims? Like we have, white Christian nationalists? Are we going to go extreme with it? Or is there an extreme version of Zionist? And then there's just, shit. It just is what it is. I'm Zionist,
Yes. To exist? Well, no, but I want to know what that means. So, do other countries have a right to exist?
Well, they do exist.
Do they have a right to exist? You keep saying Israel has a right to exist, and I want to know what other countries
They
have
have
a
a
right.
legal right because every international body in the last 100 years has said the Jewish...
So, Chad, we know what the fuck an extreme Muslim would do. What would an extreme Zionist do? You know what I'm saying? Like, when we think of extreme Muslims and shit, we got a few images that might come to mind. Right. So, what would an extreme Zionist, what would be like a description? Give me a damn description, a rundown.
Jewish people have a right
I
to
understand
their
you
indigenous
explained it, but
homeland.
my question
So that's a
is,
legal right.
what
Do
other-
they have a biblical right? I would say that yes, but you may say they don't.
I don't know. I'm actually
Okay.
sincerely interested in finding out what you mean by a biblical right. But first, to the legal right, does any other country on the planet have the same right that Israel has to exist?
Well, you could say, does Jordan have a right to exist? When it was Transjordan and the Brits came and divided up the Middle East and they gave some land to Jordanians and they gave some land to the Saudis and they gave some land to various Middle Eastern countries, and it was all carved up, and the French gave Lebanon its right to exist. Do they have a right to exist?
So nobody knows what an extreme Zionist, you know what I'm saying? You said we watching what they doing every day. Nah, man, I'm talking about some, like, what does that consist of? You know what I'm saying? Like, when we think about radical Muslim, radical Islam, we think about motherfuckers strapping backpacks and shit, explosives and flying planes and the shit. That was the picture they painted for us. I'm one of those kids. I was kind of young, man. I was still in elementary when 9/11 happened. So radical Islam to me consists of a whole bunch of wires and beepers and gadgets and shit strapped to a motherfucker, screaming the term, talking about they finna go get 32 virgins, man. That's what the radical Islam look like to me, man. Motherfucker ready to go get them virgins.
Well, why not?
So every country...
Does the U.S. have a right to exist?
I'm asking you.
Okay, and I'm telling you, I think the U.S. has a right to exist.
Okay.
We came here, but we came there. We're in Israel now talking. But does the U.S. have a right to exist? Does anyone question whether we have a right to exist?
I don't. Yeah, but of course, I'm for America.
So you said they're already extreme. Committing G is extreme, isn't it? So who is committing the G? Is it the Christian Zionists? Are we saying the Christian Zionists are the ones that are committing this G? I'm asking, Chad. I want to know how you guys feel. Are we saying that this is on the Christian Zionist hands?
Good for you.
But so every current country on the map has the same right to exist that Israel has. Is that what you're saying?
I think what we're saying is that when a country has established itself and it is following international law, it has been deemed by numerous bodies that it is indigenous to its homeland, as Israel is. This is its homeland.
Also
It
classified.
goes back 3,800 years to the time of Abraham. It's not that the Jewish people just showed up here in 1948 and said, we're going to have some land.
Hold on. So those are two different tracks, and I just want to make sure that we separate them so I understand each one separately.
All right.
So you're saying there's the...
I'm just going to be honest with y'all, man. I'm gonna open up the phone lines here in a minute, man. Y'all be sure to subscribe to the channel. Double tap the screen, man. This is my first time seeing this interview, and this is wild, man. Y'all are saying that. I just want to know. Y'all aren't telling me an exact definition. I need to visualize it. Like, what would I just gave y'all? Like, when I think of an extreme Islam, extreme Muslim, I think of a motherfucker ready to strap a vest on with a bunch of wires and shit to it, run off in somewhere, yell some shit out, man, and detonate, bruh. That's what I think. A motherfucker ready to go get those virgins, man. That's what I think of, man. Now, that's probably the most extreme, right? Now, what is the most extreme on the other side? A visual. I get what y'all are saying, but I need a visual. You know what I'm saying?
The modern legal framework, and so you said a country that
or is it just different? It's too hard to visualize, plug. I don't know. Y'all let me know.
It's by international law has a right to exist.
I would say that is a part.
Would the inverse be true that a country that does not abide by international law forfeits its right to exist?
Not necessarily if it has the capacity to stay and make its case known. But there have been Jewish people in this land,
okay, but that's
in this very land, for 3,800 years.
Okay, so, but you're saying as the...
Okay, you said I'm trying to make extremists into Zionists, which is wrong. So there are no Zionist extremists? I mean, I'm asking. Shit, I'm trying to rationalize this shit, chat. All of this shit is holy wars to me, man. I'm just being honest with you. All this shit is holy wars to me, bro. Shit's been going on, gonna keep going on.
Nation state with borders and a military and a Knesset and just all the kind of trappings of a modern country, all of which I support. That country has, every country on the planet has the same right as Israel to exist because it does exist. Is that what you're saying? I'm just trying to understand the concept here.
Well, I think what we're trying to get to is Christian Zionism, and you've taken this way off the road.
I don't know that I have. I don't need to. Christian Zionism is a separate thing, but I just keep hearing people say Zionism is the belief
that's the fundamental argument that's going on. Does Israel have a right?
It's crazy. I say I'm trying to rationalize this shit. My damn device get to doing some weird shit, man. Is that the call? Fuck, man. Chill out.
To live in their indigenous, ancient, historical land, a land that has been affirmed throughout international organizations, a land that has direct ties to the Jewish people.
I just want to know if this is a universal principle. I guess that's what I'm getting at, because if it's not, then it's meaningless to me. Because as a Christian, I believe in universal principle. Something is right for everyone, or it's wrong for everyone.
What's up, how to live?
But here's the question. If the Jews didn't have this land, would the Jews to any land?
I don't know. I'm not attacking the Jews. I'm asking if...
Well, I think in this, I seen a clip of this interview, and they said the Jews it's a lot in like Florida and New York, so Florida and New York,
This applies to every people in every nation. Does every nation have the same right to its own homeland, to its own physical land that you say Israel does?
I feel like we're in a rabbit hole here.
No, I think it's a very straightforward question.
So this is my thing. I believe every country has a right to exist, but I understand that the world has never been a moral place. It's always been wars and bloodshed. It's been bloodshed over and text that create borders. There's text and bloodshed created every single border that we have since the beginning of fucking time. So yes, every country has the right to exist, but is that a viable, feasible option? At some point in time, motherfuckers gonna try you. Whether it's tomorrow, whether it's 1,000 years from now, whether it's 20 years from now, a motherfucker's gonna try you, man. This is not a moral world that we live in.
But does that right extend to other countries other than Israel?
But the most important thing that is going on in our culture right now is whether or not the people that are yelling in the streets from the river to the sea, whether that's a legitimate point of view to say that there should not be a Jewish homeland. There should not be a Jewish
You'll
state.
never hear me say
What's
that.
up,
I just
Maury?
want to
I know you haven't said it, but that's the argument.
It's one of the arguments going on globally. And the United States, excuse me, has a pretty narrow view, I would say, in our media culture of what's happening around the world. There are plenty of countries having this debate. Stonehenge is a lot older than the first temple in Israel. And it was built by the same people who live there now. It's the same people. And they are being pushed off their island and outnumbered by people from other places. And so in Great Britain, in Ireland, which is also a country with a nation of people, a race, if you will, that is being displaced, replaced.
Who are they being replaced by?
Immigrants.
Okay.
From other places.
I just wanted to clarify because I was one of the...
Well, just as a demographic matter, it's just like you can look at the numbers. It's not controversial. Just look at the numbers. There'll be a minority in their country. And their people have been there longer than Jews have been in Israel. And so...
Oh, shit. That boy, Jaden said, why does he have his Cash App up? To donate to the fucking channel, bro. Why do you think it's up? Like, that's a rhetorical question, man. What the fuck is going on? You know what time it is. Appreciate all donations, chat.
They're having this debate too. That's all I'm saying. And lots of places are having this debate.
Sure.
So does that principle apply to everyone, or is it specific just to Israel?
I think it applies specifically to Israel. It applies to anyone who can prove that they have some connection to the land and connection to the history and connection to international law. But Israel, I think, does have...
Thank you, Stacey.
International law. So if, again...
Well, no, but let me finish this.
Yes, sir.
Because here's the point. We're talking about Christian Zionism. The idea that as a Christian, I believe in both the Old and the New Testament. Why wouldn't I? I'm a person of the book. There are 80 million evangelicals.
So both sides held hostages, right? In this war that we're talking about, both sides held hostages, right? I wonder how many hostages were held on each side. Somebody dropped that information. How many hostages were held on each side?
Christians in the United States. What makes us who we are is our adherence to the Scripture. Our belief that the Bible, all of it, not part of it, but all of it, is the Word of the living God.
Yeah.
So if I believe in the Old and the New Testament, I do believe that...
Chat, double tap the screen. I need everybody to hit the like button. We got to get to 100 likes right quick, and we're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We go live every single day over here talking politics, current events, and entertainment, man. Subscribe to the channel.
There is a very specific call to the Jewish people that started with Abraham, and he called them out of what is now modern-day Iraq, said, come where I send you. He came, this is the land. Genesis 12:3. He says, I will bless those who bless you, curse those who curse you.
Now, Mike Huckabee is a pastor, right? He's a Baptist pastor, right?
Genesis 17, he looks out at the world, he says, look, and this is where I'm giving you the land.
I think
and
it's
since that time, there have been people living in this land,
right,
connected to that moment of history. So there is a historical connection that
I'm
is
not
unbroken.
You've said that.
Thank you, How to Live, for gifting Classified that's membership. I'm glad Classified got that membership, man. Thank you, thank you, How to Live.
And I want to ask you what that means a little more specifically, if that's okay. But first, let me just say that you could say the same thing of Britons who've been there in their land longer.
Is anybody trying to tell the Brits they can't live there anymore?
No, what's happening is...
But they are saying that to the Jews.
Okay, but I just wonder if you would extend the same sympathy or the same principle. You don't. You seem like this is... You think I'm trying to trap you? I'm not. I'm at all trying to trap you. It'd be as simple as saying native Britons have the same...
I got no problem with the native Brits having their land.
Having the
right
right
to their land.
I
don't know that there is a biblical connection for the Brits.
Okay.
But I would say...
So that's what it comes down to.
Take that off the table. And I think there's still a basis.
Yes, that's what it comes down to. Yes. Text. Bloodshed and text. Bloodshed and text. Yes, you have birthright as well, but let's be honest, man. Once the blood is shed and new texts are created, motherfuckers don't care about that birthright shit. Let's be honest, chat. If we're going to be mask off today, let's be mask off today, man. We got mask off Mike Huckabee and mask off Tucker Carlson, man. Let's keep it real, man. Birthright only holds so much fucking weight until blood is shed and new text is created. Let's be honest, man.
Having this little bitty strip of real estate.
I'm not even arguing with you. I'm just trying to, at all. I'm just trying to understand what it is that you're saying, because it's not obvious to me, and maybe it's an IQ problem, but I'm having trouble understanding this. But let me just go back to just clarify one thing.
Okay.
You've brought up international at least twice, maybe three times, as a basis for Israel's legitimacy. if Israel was out of compliance with international law, whatever that is, would it be less legitimate?
Depends on if the law and the way it's applied is legitimate. There are some applications of so-called international law that are not legitimate.
I agree.
Look at the ICC or the ICJ.
I agree.
Utterly ridiculous. One of the reasons I'm so grateful President Trump and Secretary Rubio.
See, now there goes the ICC thing. Everybody's talking about Putin has these international warrants. Netanyahu has international warrants, but he flies right down to Mar-A-Lago or to wherever he wants to fly. We see Trump fuck around and have an ICC warrant for that shit he did with Maduro. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck. That's what Mike Huckabee's talking about right now. Like, I'm so glad we're not in that shit, man. They don't give a fuck about them ICC warrants, man. It's crazy.
Are pushing hard, trying to get rid of the ICC and the ICJ is because they have become rogue organizations that are no longer really about an equal application of law and justice.
I don't know enough about it to say if that's true or not. But I'm interested that you yourself appealed to international law as a basis of Israel's
Well, what I'm
legitimacy.
looking at is the whole of the last 100 years.
The Balfour Declaration is not exactly international law, by the way. It was a letter, I think.
It was maybe not law, but it was a declaration. It was an assumption and a declaration that was done by Lord Balfour.
Listen, every time somebody has this debate, chat, any types of these debates, listen to what it boils down to. It's going to be bloodshed and text. What he's talking about are treaties, international laws, and fucking wars, man. Bloodshed and text, bro. It's nothing else to it, man. Honestly, everything else is fucking tier 2, man. This shit is tier 2, man. The S tier claims to land and shit is bloodshed and then text. The fucking B tier shit is birthright and whatever else you want to call it, man. It is what it is.
Balfour in Great Britain. At that time, this land was under the British mandate, and he said the Jews should have the land that was theirs from 3,800 years ago. It was simple as that.
Right, and I'm not debating that. I'm just it was not international law. It was a colonial power saying, okay,
but then
here's how
later
we're going
it
to
was
divide up the
international
world
law
after
under the League of Nations, under the United Nations, and then because of the victories that Israel had against those who tried to annihilate them, and it wasn't just that they were trying to take a little piece of their land, they tried to annihilate them.
Okay.
And there is still to this day the shouts of from the river to the sea. And Tucker, that means only one thing of Israel, but the annihilation of Israel.
I don't think
that's different.
I don't think you can say that you know what it means, actually, because you don't know what's in people's hearts. So why don't we just deal with the facts? Maybe some people mean it.
I know it's in their mouths. I know it's in their minds.
But I'm not. Look, you'll never hear me say that. What you will hear me say is I'm confused by what the definitions are. So let's go through this. You've appealed to Genesis. Genesis 15 says it's
I believe we all fall short of the glory of God, and we need to be ready, man. We need to be ready, man, for when Jesus come back, man. That all of that that's going on over there, man, that's their business, man. I'm worried about trying to get myself together and myself right. I know I'm not living all the way right, Chad. We all fall short of the glory. If y'all want to know where I stand on this shit.
Abram, it's pre-Abraham, it's Abram, receives from God the news that his descendants will inherit the land, and you tell me as the theologian if I'm getting this wrong, but from the Euphrates to the Nile. I think that's right. And that would include basically the entire Middle East. That would be the Levant, so that would be Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. It would also be big parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It would be,
I'm not sure it would go that far. I mean, it would be a big piece of land, but here's the point.
It would be a lot of places that are now countries.
That this particular area that we're talking about now, Israel, and that God gave through Abraham to a people that he chose. It was a people, a place, and a purpose. We can look at it that way. Christian Zionism. I want to go back because that's where we started.
I'm not going to let you off on this because you have said it 3 times that God gave this land to this people. And so it is entirely fair for me with respect to ask, what land are you talking about? Because I just...
Now, somebody dropped, what land is he talking about? Now, he's going to say from what is it, from the West Bank all the way over the whole West Bank, man. And this is where the 15 countries came out and issued the joint statement condemning Mike Huckabee, because this answer he's gonna give right here, Mike Huckabee's about to say all of that shit. All of that shit, man. Mike Huckabee is unhinged right here. Why?
Read Genesis 15 as I have many times. And that land, I think it says, from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is, once again, basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he didn't.
Fucking Middle East.
You're saying he did. I mean, does Israel have the right to that land?
My bad. The whole fucking Middle East is crazy, bro. Damn.
You're appealing to Genesis.
Damn, that's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot of kilometers, man, and miles and shit.
Saying that's the original deed.
It would be fine if they took it all, but I don't think that's what we're talking about here today.
What would be fine? Well, it's exactly what we're talking about.
I'm not gonna lie, Chad. That's some American shit right there. That's some manifest destiny type shit right there. We seen that shit happen before, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. Started off on the East Coast, man, and that next thing we know, we got all of that shit, man. From the Atlantic to the Pacific, man. That shit was promised to us, man. Is what manifest destiny. Y'all act like y'all forgot.
Today.
But here's what I don't think
you think it would be fine if the state of Israel took over all of Jordan?
They don't want to take it over. They're not asking to take it over.
But you're saying that the reason that Israel is legitimate, has this inherent right to exist, is in part because God gave it to his people. And I am going to the same Bible that you're referring to and noticing that that is a huge piece of land. So if God gave them that land, then they have a right to take it now by your definition, unless I'm missing something completely.
Well, I think you're missing something, because they're not asking to go back to take all of that, but they are asking to at least take the land that they now occupy, they now live in, they now own legitimately, and it is a safe haven for them.
Well, may I ask though, because you're explaining what Christian Zionism is and your theological beliefs, and you think you just said it would be fine with you if the state of Israel took all of Jordan, all of Syria, all of Lebanon.
That's really not exactly what I'm trying to say.
I'm asking, Tucker. Is that what you said? I thought that's what you just said.
It was somewhat of a hyperbolic statement in that, if that's what you feel like that we're talking about, but it isn't. We're talking about this land that Israel, the state of Israel, now lives in, wants to have peace in. They're not trying to take over Jordan. They're not trying to take over Syria. They're not trying to take over Iraq or anywhere else. But they do want to protect their people to take over Lebanon.
But you're saying that as a religious man, as a Christian Zionist, you agree with a lot of religious communities here in Israel that the justification for this country is theological. It's a contract between God and
Israel. Yeah, Chad. Congress hasn't approved it yet, but Trump allegedly is going to put $10 billion into the Board of Peace. I believe like $6.5 billion is supposed to go towards rebuilding Gaza, man. They're saying it should be it'll probably be $70 billion total cost to rebuild Gaza, and it's looking like they're trying to get the ball rolling with this Board of Peace.
This people. And I'm telling you that contract includes a tract of land that is much larger than the current nation state.
So you may be a bigger Zionist than even the Jews are that live in Israel.
I'm trying to understand the implications of your theology for geopolitics. Yeah. Because you're saying that the present government of Israel has a moral right to take over what are now other people's countries.
No, I didn't say that.
Then what are you saying?
I'm simply saying that the people who live in Israel, I think, have a right to have security, have safety. They have a right to be able to live in this land that they have a connection to for 30 years.
I told myself, and I said a prayer, that I would not get annoyed. But as someone who is, the father of daughters, when I see child molesters hiding in Israel and escaping American justice, I think I have a right to safety in my country too. So you can understand that.
Yeah, Chad. They're saying Trump pledged $10 billion to the Board of Peace to rebuild Gaza. I believe $6.5 billion of that is going to go to the initial start of that. Congress has not approved it yet, but we know how Trump gets. They're saying it will cost $70 billion to rebuild Gaza, about $70 billion, but we gonna see.
I think most people feel they have a right to safety. I do think Israel has a right to safety, and I hope that for them, and I'm sincere. But I'm an American, and I have a right to safety in my country too. Of course you do. Agree? And I think so. But I just want to get to this point. If Israel were to say, God gave us in Genesis 15 all of Lebanon, all of Syria, all the way up to Iraq, would that be legitimate in your view?
I don't think in this particular day and time they're asking for it.
Would it be legitimate?
I'm not sure that it would be.
Why? Because you just said that
because
God gave it
I
to
think
them.
that there is an understanding that the people of Israel today, they end up getting attacked by all these places, and they win that war, and they take that land, and okay, that's a whole nother discussion. But you and I started out.
Win it in a war,
we started talking about something simple: Christian Zionism.
But it turns out it's
and
not
now
simple because the core of Christian Zionism, you said, and I'm quoting you, is the understanding, the belief, the theological understanding that Jews have a moral and legal, we went through the legal,
biblical,
moral deriving from the biblical, from the promises in our Bible, which we share with the Jewish people, the first part of the Old Testament, that it derives from God's promise to the Jews. So I have two questions. What are the borders of that? And who are those people in 2026? And you're not the first person I've asked, but you're the most reasonable, most gentle, most theologically informed person, so I'm really hoping for an answer.
Yeah.
The first question was the borders. I can't get an answer.
Yeah.
Those borders are. So I'm going to give up. But the second question is every bit as pressing, which is who are the people? Who are the modern, who are the descendants? So we know, and I believe, and I agree with you as a Christian, that God promised this land from...
Here we go, Chad. He finna get in the Netanyahu lineage, man. He finna get in the Netanyahu and all of those people lineage, man. I wonder what Mike Huckabee is gonna respond to.
Iraq to modern day Egypt.
Chat, double tap the screen. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We gotta get to 100 likes. If you can't double tap the screen, hit the like button. Go to the 3 dots at the top. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal, man. We go live every single day, man. Double tap the screen.
To this people, the Jews, to Abram's, actually not to Abram's descendants, as it says in Genesis 15. Who are his descendants now, and how do we know who they are?
I think they're the Jews, and we know who they are because they've always been a Jewish people. There has been an unbroken line of Jewish people, and they've lived in this land for 3,800 years. Sometimes not very many of them, because they were chased out all over the world. They were hunted down. They were almost annihilated during the Holocaust. They came back. To this day, Tucker, they represent, you know how many Jews there are in the whole world?
Please,
No, but
I understand. But first of all, the greatest genocide of Jews no one ever mentions was by the Romans, where they were literally banned from Jerusalem for 500 years.
Yeah, of course.
And it's all awful, and I'm opposed to all of that. I'm opposed to...
Banned for 500 years sounds fucking crazy, Chad, but people were living a lot longer, quote unquote, back then. Like biblical times, people was living a long ass time. In the Old Testament, people was living a long ass time.
Mass killing of anybody, period. I'm opposed to
hear you say that.
I mean it.
Yeah,
and I hope
I believe that. I believe that.
Question is, and it's not a bumper sticker answer, it's a sincere answer, how do we know? Because what you're saying is that certain people have a title to a highly contested region. They own it in some deep sense. So I think it's fair to ask, who are they and how do we know? So the current prime minister's ancestors weren't from here within recorded history. He has no deed. Bibi Netanyahu, on one side, his family's from Poland. They're from Eastern Europe. So how do we know that he has a connection to the people who God promised the land to, Abram's descendants? How do we know that?
Well, if you take the genealogies that come not only from the Old but the New Testament, you see that there is a historical connection through the entirety of the Old and the New Testament that details the Jewish connection to this land.
Does that include Bibi's family? How do we know that if his family comes here?
Scattered,
but how do we know it's the same people? No, why is that crazy? If you say to me,
if they speak the same language, if they worship the same God,
Nah, they don't want us to live, Chad, man. We're going to come back and finish this tonight, Chad. We at 1 hour and 6 minutes, chat. I gotta get ready to go to work anyway, man, and they fucked up the damn live, man. But listen, chat, we gonna come back and we're gonna finish this interview tonight. We at 1 hour and 8 minutes. We'll finish this tonight because Tucker was probably gonna get ready to roll me up. Hold on, why am I lagging? Hold on, chat. Yeah, we gonna have to finish this tonight because if I restart the live, they gonna kick me off this motherfucker anyway. Yeah, if I restart the live, they're going to end up kicking me off. So, yeah, y'all join the Discord. Chat, drop the Discord. How do y'all feel about this, man? This is wild, man. We'll come back later. We'll talk about the, probably about 10 p.m. Spitfire. We'll probably be live around 10 p.m. Central Time. So between 9 and 10 p.m. Central Time, we're about to jump into Discord now, though. We're going to jump into Discord. If y'all want to talk about this, where we've watched up until this point, jump into Discord, and we'll be in the voice chat, just, you know, hanging out, talking about what's going on right here. Yeah, I know that is kind of lame, Corey. It is kind of lame, but I got to go to work anyway, so it kind of worked out. But we are jumping into Discord, man. I was going to be able to stay on like another 20 minutes, but yeah, it's cool. We wasn't going to finish it all anyway. I'm going to drop the Discord on the community tab wall as well, so y'all can jump in the Discord, man. And I'll see y'all